Hi, so the article I chose to talk about was Assessing the Development of Relational Framing in Young Children by Kristen and Stewart. The main purpose of this study was they were trying to measure the relational responding of various types of relations at various levels in young children, specifically children ages 3 to 7. They mostly focused on relating of the relations as one important pattern. They examined a range of frames. Those frames included coordination, comparison, opposition, temporality, and hierarchy. And this was all at various levels of complexity. The methods that were used was they had 24 students that were all in that age range with a variety of the genders they were. They conducted an assessment that was conducted by the researcher. And one assessment they conducted was a standardized measure of intelligence, which measured the intelligence and cognitive abilities of these children. They also did a relational assessment, which looked at the patterns of relational responding. In that specific assessment, there was 4 stages. The first stage was a non-arbitrary measuring. The second stage was non-arbitrary with analogical relations. And the third stage was arbitrary relations, and the final stage was the fourth stage, which was arbitrary analogical relations. Some findings from this article was that there was a predictable patterns wherein relational assessment scores increased as a function. And of the age and mean relational assessment, there was 10% of each age increased from this assessment, so it was shown to be effective and overall improved scores across age. The cohorts were mostly later stages, so stages 4 and 3 were known to have a higher increase in scores. This article also stated that there was an increase when there's ongoing exposure, as well as IQ is correlated to this. So the higher an individual's IQ was, the more higher and increased scores they had. I found this article super interesting. It was super long, but it was super informative and kind of opened my eyes more to relational responding, as I'm not super familiar with that. So I found it really interesting to see a study where they conducted that. I think this would be a really cool intervention to try with some of my early learners. So I think in the future that might be something I want to work on. I found it really interesting how IQ played an important role, because I feel like a lot of the individuals I work with have really high IQs, but they might have deficits in other skills. So I found that this intervention really said how important that IQ is. And overall, I think this really reinforced my perspective on relational responding, and it's something I want to keep learning more about and doing more research about. So thanks.